Good morning, guys. Oh, my voice sounds so tired. I haven't really talked yet this morning. A little bit. But I sound very tired. I am kind of tired. I am actually very tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. I got sleep last night. At least I thought I did. How's everybody doing today? We have like no one in here yet. I did post on Discord, right? Oh, whoops, I screwed up my post on Discord. Very good. Still. Anyway, I don't know what we're doing today. I think we're just gonna work on some fishing stuff. We have this fishing tournament thing going on here. I should have opened up the other level so I can actually see what's happening here. I guess we can just load in Moonberry. We'll just grab both of these, I guess. I need to see where these are actually sitting before I get too ahead of myself with like decorating for the fishing tournament, but I don't think it's gonna be crazy. Okay, good. Actually, this is probably fine. We'll make some adjustments, I think, but it won't be crazy. We're kind of blocking some stuff. I might just push this in here a little further. I don't wanna block the defisherator. That's important. I want to block this cooking place, but I think that's fine. I think players can get around that. I think that looks good. So that's what it looked like when the fishing tournament starts. Nothing crazy. I wonder if we should say fishing tourney today. Nah, I think it's fine. I also wonder if we should put a calendar here. Not necessarily in this level, but in this level probably. I think we will. Just because I figure players will probably want to know when the fishing tournaments are, and we can even have Fishmonger here like talk about them. He won't be able to tell you when they are, but he can tell you to check the calendar. Hey, what's up, Bane Trapper? Another day, another stream. Yeah, it's been 7 days since I streamed, and I feel really guilty. Literally 7 days ago was the last time I went live. I kept trying to go live, and there were like there was like a couple days where I definitely could have streamed, and I just wasn't really in the mood for it for some reason. I just needed a break, I guess. And then there were a couple nights where I wanted to stream, and I was like planning on it, and I was ready to, and then like, sorry, random hair or something in my mouth. Yeah. Anyway, and then like 10 o'clock rolled around or whatever, and I finally just got like Quinn to bed, and I was like, no, I'm going to sleep. I was just too tired. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll put a calendar here so players can check the calendar for fishing tournaments. I figure that's kind of important, so this is where the tournaments are. We also should probably... make sure this is a fishing tournament hosted by the Fishmonger in Moonberry Farms. Catch the biggest fish you can and bring it to Moonberry to lock in your catch. Perfect. Maybe should it say catch the biggest, or should it say talk to the Fishmonger? I'll say that. Talk to Fishmonger to join the tournament. Otherwise, yeah, we need that. Okay, times don't matter, but the time does affect things during the event. But I haven't got really around to setting that all up yet. So the next thing I've got to do to make this actually work is he needs some dialogue stuff and some code. Hello? There we go. My right click wasn't working. Hey, what's up, Experience? It's been a hot minute. Yeah, how has it been? Okay, we have a... Looks like he has an inventory component. No, he doesn't. He has a fish barrel. Which we don't need anymore. Where's this? We have a fishing barrel though. What we should do... Calculate default drops. We can probably get rid of this too. So the fishmonger used to do this thing where you'd bring him your fish, and he would like set it all up for you. Sorry, my brain. You bring him your fish, and then he would take all of them and process them, and then in like 24 hours he would send you a letter, like in the mail, with all your processed fish stuff, but like fish oil, scales, all that stuff. And it was supposed to be way more efficient than doing it through the processor, but it ended up like never being worth it. And also eventually there was a bug that popped up somewhere for some reason, and it was like, let's just scrap this. This is not worth the time. I'm pretty good. Recently moved and have a baby on the way. Hey, congrats on that. Looking for a new job, so been pretty busy. That's huge. Congrats. Wish I had more time for video games. Yeah, don't we all? So do I. I haven't played games in a while, but just the other day I started playing Cyberpunk again. I don't know. It was in my library, and I was like, oh, I haven't played this in a long time, and I never finished it the first time. I played like 40 hours into it and never like actually finished the full storyline. So I decided to start playing it again. So I started a new game because I didn't remember anything that happened at all, and yeah, it's been fun so far. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to keep playing it though, unfortunately. I'm also writing a lot. I'm working on a novel, and that's I'm about a little over a third of the way through with it now. But last night mostly this morning, I woke up this morning and I had this like epiphany, I guess, sort of. I don't know why. I don't know if I was dreaming about it or what, but I woke up and I was like, I know how to solve the magic system problem with this book, and I now have it like solved, I think. For the most part, there's a couple more things that I'm like, how does this actually work? But yeah, for the most part, I've got it. I'm pretty excited. The next chapter, or the next not chapter, the next act. The first act just wrapped up, and the second act I've been kind of like dragging my feet getting like into it, because I didn't really know exactly what was going to happen yet. I just have like I had very basic, like bare bones outlines for it, but now I have a good idea. I've been having lots of problems with writer's block recently. Yeah, that's rough. I have not experienced that yet since I started like actually writing and taking it a little more seriously, luckily. But in the past I've had that issue. But yeah, this next I just wrote all this down, so I'm really excited about it, and it's on my mind anyway. But I have the next act in the book revolves around, it's gonna be a little more so I'm writing a lit RPG. I don't know if you know what it is. But there's like a pretty not strict, but there's like a pretty strict formula that a lot of the writers that I at least have read follow, with like training in these books, which is kind of interesting. And I wasn't really planning on doing that, but I think I found a way to like where like it's kind of necessary for the character to progress, statistically anyway, and also yeah, I don't know. It'll also be like a preparation phase, and I'm kind of excited about it. But it involves undead and a whole undead dungeon, which will be cool. A book. Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's weird because it's coming from a game developer perspective, right? Like I'm writing a lit RPG, which makes perfect sense for a game developer because you're basically just writing like an MMO, right? You're writing a book around characters like in an MMO. At least that's what I'm doing. And that's what most lit RPGs are too. So yeah, there's like stats and systems and level ups and skills to unlock and gear and equipment and stuff like that, right? So it's all like you're basically just writing a story of like a character going through an MMO for the first time, which is cool, and it's really fun, and it's like it's really exciting, like building the whole world out. And the coolest thing about it is that like this morning I came up with the magic system, which is all based on scrolls and spell books, for the most part. And then I realized that like it's just kind of crazy to think like if I wanted to build this into an actual like video game, obviously I couldn't build it to this level or this depth, right, or this scale, you know, obviously. But even if I wanted like a simple version of it, which would be cool, it would have taken me months to build a whole magic system. And like designing it is like one thing, but like now the magic system that I've designed it and it's in my head and I wrote it down, it's like it just exists now. Like it's just there, right? Like I didn't have to code it. I didn't have to like do anything. And then when I like write like a scene or whatever, like I can write a whole scene out and whatever I write just happens, which is, I don't know, that sounds really stupid, like obviously, but like it's kind of wild to realize that from a game developer's perspective that I can just write a scene and it's happened. Like as soon as someone reads it, like it's there, like that thing happened already. And that's wild. I don't know, just because it takes so much work to build something like that, like anything even like remotely substantial in a video game, you know, having to program it, have to make the art for it, have to animate it, have to rig it, have to like texture it, have to light it, have to do level design, have to like script out the scene. Like it's just so much work to do like one little thing, and then in writing you just type it out and it happened. I don't know, it's just so weird. It's just like a totally different like level of like, wow, that's done. It just that just works. It's finished. I don't have to debug it. I don't have to test play it. I don't have to like go back through. I mean, like yeah, I have to go back through and like, you know, proofread and stuff like that and like fix issues here and there. And I'm sure I'll be writing like a second draft of this, or like at least like cleaning up the first draft, obviously. But anyway, okay, we need to store some stuff. Let's get back to this. Sorry. Now you know where my mind's been for last week, why I haven't been streaming. But I have actually been working on this. I've actually got a lot of cool stuff done, which I don't want to show off because it's kind of sneaky secret stuff. But the fishing tournament is almost finished. As far as I know, I think almost everything from it is working except for the actual like system of like turning in your like biggest catch, right? But you can talk to the guy. He gives you special bait, which is like I'll show you. It's this little magnet bait, which is pretty cool. Hopefully this shows up. There we go. It's kind of hard to see in here, but yeah, it's like this little magnet bait, which is cool because you're catching these little like what are they called? These guys, these little mecha fish guys. I don't remember what I'm calling them though. They might be called, I think I'm calling them tinkerfish. So you catch these little tinkerfish, right? There's 3 different types. There's like a copper, silver, copper, iron, technically, and gold. So obviously the gold one's the best, the copper one's the worst. And then they each have different sizes based on, or like smidgen sizes. So the copper can be between 5 and 15, and I think it goes up to 30 for the gold one. It doesn't really matter that much. 40 for the gold one. So you can catch anything between a 5 and a 40. That's like the range that you can catch for the fishing tournament. And then the player or character, actually, because there's also NPCs that'll be randomly competing as well. The character that has the highest, or the largest fish they've caught will win. And there is, at first I had a unique prize for first place, second place, and then like kind of, I guess they're all unique, but like kind of a throwaway prize. It's still a unique prize, but it's kind of a throwaway prize for third place. Then I thought, it's probably going to be harder for players to get second place intentionally than it would be to get first place intentionally. So I decided not to do a unique prize for second place. I mean, it's still like a new thing, but you also get it in third place. So it's not like, I'll tell you what it is. It's called a bait box, and you just right click in your inventory and it like just spawns a bunch of random bait. That's all it does. So it's not like it's something like super unique. The players need to like work hard to go figure out what it is. You know, they just get it. And then second place also gets some gold. First place gets some gold, and actually, I think I scrapped the first place thing. But you also get a unique reward, and I don't want to spoil that one yet. But I have it written in the dialogue, so I don't want to open the dialogue either. But anyway. Yeah, the unique reward for the first place is actually really cool, and I think people are really gonna like it. My only concern is it might be a little too fancy, but I think it's fine. Dedicated testers didn't seem to have a problem with it. They liked it. And no, it's not just another fishing rod, because I did consider that, and I was like, that's kind of lame. Like, it's cool, but it's also kind of, I don't know. It's just that's what the second place prize was going to be, and then I changed my mind. Okay, so what we need to do is we need a way so when players interact with this fishmonger guy, he calls a function on his person here that stores. We need to input the fish. We pretty much need to like loop through the player's inventory, which is easy. Grab all of their fish of these types, right? I might even make a tag for it just so we can just grab all the items with that tag. And then we need to store the highest catch. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to give, if the players will know which sorry, I'm just thinking through this in my head. Dad joke. Brendan, hi. I don't even know where my dad joke book went. And I'm not skilled enough, I guess, as a dad to just give you a joke. I guess. Hang on, I'm looking for it. Not very well. Not doing a great job. I have no idea where it is. Hang on. I think I know where it is. Found it. That guy's sorry. Google some random one, I guess. Nope. I have the book. I just have to find the right. There's like weird. The whole book has like a bunch of random stuff in it, and like some of it is like stories, like a whole story. And I'm not gonna like tell you guys a whole story. It's not. I don't know. It's a weird like context, like telling someone that joke. Okay. Why was it called the Dark Ages? Why did they call it the Dark Ages? We could see the stars? Nope. It was called the Dark Ages because there were so many nights. Nah. I feel like there has to be that awkward silence after a dad joke, otherwise it just doesn't land right. Anyway, hi Brandon, welcome in. Thank you so much for the resub as well, by the way. 61 months, that's insane. I feel like every single time you come in, you resub. I don't understand how this happens. Like, I know that's not actually happening. I know you're only doing it once a month, but I don't know why it feels like it's every single stream. I only stream once a month. No, I streamed all week last week, actually, almost every day. I think I skipped Friday last week. Might have been Thursday too. It must have No, it was I streamed Thursday, did not stream Friday. Because I streamed like 5 days a week last week, I think it was. And then I took a week off. I did take a whole 7 days off. I didn't mean to. I wasn't intending to. And I didn't have anything like really going on. I mean, I guess it was a little busy. I did go to the dentist, and as you can see, I'm not wearing glasses anymore, which probably doesn't surprise anybody. maybe someone, I don't know. I gave up on them. I decided that the benefit of wearing them, like the extra like 10 to 15% like crispness that I see like wearing them, and that's only like with things that are like 10 feet away, or like small text like this text would look a little bit more crisp with glasses on. It wasn't worth the annoying depth perception issues I was still having after 12 days of wearing them. I just couldn't like get past that. Like every time I put them on, like everything just looked weird, and like my brain was just like not getting it right. Like I would like look at things and like not fully like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. It's almost like I just like couldn't identify things. Like everything just felt kind of surreal, and so I look at something and it would take me like a second to like figure out what I was looking at, right? I don't know how to explain that. You sound like me. I don't need glasses, but I like the crispiness. Yeah, that's how that's yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I have an astigmatism. It's very mild. My glasses were 0.75, I think. I don't remember. I don't know if that means anything. I'm still very new to this. But like, yeah, putting them on and off, like I just don't see a huge difference, and like, I get that weird like fishbowl effect, like that weird like depth perception issue. If I close like one eye while wearing glasses, everything looks perfectly fine, like no issues. It's just when they're both open, obviously, which is, you know, all the time, pretty much, that like threw me off, and I just couldn't get over it. And I kept like checking, or like I went back to the dentist, the optometrist. I also went to the dentist this week. 0 cavities in a year, and I'm very proud of that. Sorry. I had really bad oral hygiene when I was younger. I was an idiot. Didn't want to brush my teeth, I guess. So now that I'm an adult, I'm doing much better. But yeah, sorry. Side tangent. Same lol. I know for sure it's a bit tougher at night to see signs at a distance. Yeah, optometrist told you had 0 cavities. Congrats. Thanks, Red. Yeah. He he did, yeah. Anyway, I went back to the optometrist after like day 1. I wore them like all day, day 1, and I was like, these are not working for me. I can't do this. And I had like a really bad headache, and I had like crazy eye fatigue, and like it just felt like awful the second day. So I didn't wear them at all the second day. Went back to the optometrist, and he was like, just got to keep wearing them. They'll get better. And so I did for 11 days, I think. I wore them all day the first day, took 1 day off, and then I wore them again for 10 consecutive days all day long. Like woke up in the morning, put them on. Like didn't take them off really, unless I was like showering or something like that. And that was it. And then yeah, so I just couldn't shake that like weird like feeling. I just couldn't. I don't know. It wasn't going away. It got to the point where it kind of plateaued. Like after like 5 or 6 days, everything got like much better. Like I was definitely not like nauseous anymore. I didn't have the weird like. Nothing would like felt weird. Like the first day I wore them, I was trying to cook, and I looked down at the cabinet or my countertop, and I was like at my stovetop, and it looked like I was standing on the side of like a roof, right? Like at a 45-degree angle. Like I was standing at a 45-degree angle, and the whole countertop was like slanted like this, and all the stuff. Like I just felt like every time I put something down, it was gonna slide down and off the countertop. It was very strange, and it was really hard to get to like shake that. It took like 2 or 3 days to get rid of that feeling, and that finally mostly went away. Did you get progressive lenses? No, I don't think so. What are progressive lenses again? I've been doing really well for the last 5 years or so with brushing my teeth. Yeah, same. I used to brush only once a day, honestly, but started twice a day. Now I'm doing well. Yeah, I also learned this is such a stupid thing that I never realized. But I always have, since I was like a kid, I always brushed my teeth and then rinsed my mouth out and spit, right? And then I learned like just a few years ago that you're not supposed to rinse after you brush. You're supposed to leave the toothpaste on your teeth. And by rinsing my mouth out, I was just washing all the fluorine. Fluorine's a thing. That's not in your toothpaste though, as far as I know. Fluoride off your teeth. So when I stopped doing that, that seemed to help a lot. I still have some gum issues, like the depth of my gums are kind of like more than I want them to be, but I'm working on that next. But anyway, we're really jumping between two different things here. Those are two different RXs in one, distance and reading. Oh yeah, they're like meant to be full-time wear glasses, like at all times for the astigmatism. Because it's not like for, I don't know the difference. I guess I was today years old when I found out. I still remember having a hard time walking after I got my prescription sunglasses. Yeah, I was the first day I wore those glasses, everything was so weird, but I really like knew I had to get used to them, and so I just tried wearing them all day. And we went to the liquor store. It's called Total Wine here. You know what that is. And I reached up to like a shelf to like pick up a bottle, and I just smashed my hand into the shelf. So I was like, that's way closer than I thought it was going to be. That was really weird. And Jana's like, do you want me to, maybe I should pick up the bottles so we don't like, you know, knock them all off the shelf trying to touch them. There's a single vision and progressive. I don't know. I think it's single. I don't know. I can probably look it up. I have my prescription somewhere. As far as I know, it's just, but I'm supposed to wear them all the time. Like they're good for like up close and far away. Because they just correct an astigmatism. So I don't know what that is. I guess progressive. I don't know. It's not like they're like just reading glasses or just driving glasses or anything like that. Like, what? I wash my mouth out every time? Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to leave the fluoride on your teeth. That's like that. I think that's like the biggest change I made for like brushing, because I still mostly only brush once a day, right before bed. Sometimes I'll brush after a meal, depending on what it is. Or like if I eat something that's like really sugary and I'm like, can definitely feel that on my teeth, then I'll brush after that. But also, your mouthwash too doesn't have as much fluoride in it as your toothpaste does, because you're like directly applying that to your teeth. So when you use your mouthwash, you're also washing off the fluoride if you use mouthwash. So I don't know exactly when you're supposed to use mouthwash, because if you're supposed to brush 3 times a day, like after each meal, then I don't know when the mouthwash comes into play, because you're not supposed to use it right after brushing, because then you're again rinsing off all the fluoride on your teeth. So I don't know. I have to ask Pearl. Pearl is a I think dental assistant. I don't know. She knows a lot about this, and she loves talking about this kind of stuff. When she streamed a lot, we used to ask her all kinds of weird questions like this. So I need to message her and ask her. Mouthwashes between brushes? I don't know. So if you only brush right after a meal, then when between brushes is ideal for putting mouth, like you're like going on a date, like you would use mouthwash before the date. I would still brush my teeth before the date. You know what I mean? But I also am married, so I don't need to worry about that as much. I don't go on a whole lot of dates, so I don't really know when you would do that. Like maybe you just, I don't know. So what I've been thinking about doing is flossing, then using mouthwash, because I got a mouthwash that's good for your gums, because that's my biggest problem right now. And so I thought I would use a floss and then mouthwash and then brush after that, because that way I'm leaving the fluoride on my teeth, and like right after I floss, if I use a mouthwash, I'm getting like it up into my gums. I think, I don't know, this is just my brain doing brain things. Anyway, we can get rid of this. Should we get back to work? And I'll be lurking. Gonna continue my Detroit become human. I know what you're talking about. I'm just making fun of the typo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't either. Anyway, moving on. I'm glad we're all bettering our lives though. We're doing good brushing our teeth and wearing glasses when we're supposed to. But yeah, anyway, I just got I got frustrated with them like not working correctly, and I started Googling, and I was like, yeah, like within 7 days, if they're not like working better, then you should take them back to the place you got them or whatever, and make sure that they're correct for you. And so that's what I'm planning on doing, but we've been busy and haven't had a chance to go back there. So yeah, I'm gonna take them back to the place I got them, and if there's nothing wrong with them, and they're like, nope, this is just how they're gonna be, then I'm just gonna return them and wait until my eyes get worse. So what kind of clicked for me is I was talking to my grandma about this, who is in her 70s now, and she has worn glasses for a long time, and I talked about how like annoying it was, because like first of all, again, the only real benefit I get is that I see about 10%, maybe like 5 to 10% crisper, if that. Like I'm just estimating, obviously. Like things look a little bit better up close, right? Like if I'm like reading my phone or whatever, I don't really see a huge difference. Like it just kind of feels like everything's magnified a little bit, which is, I guess, handy because I can read a little bit better when it, like that. I don't have to have things as close to my face, which is fine. I don't know if that matters. It doesn't really like change things. I can just hold my phone closer to my face if I want to, right? So it doesn't really matter. And then things that are like 5 to like 20 feet away look like 10 to 15% more crisp. So like if I'm like watching TV, I can like read text on the TV and stuff like that easier. That kind of stuff is nice. And then like probably like road signs and stuff. But I honestly like hardly ever drive. Gianna drives everywhere because she gets really motion sickness, or really motion sick when she drives, or when other people drive. And so she drives pretty much everywhere, which I really don't mind. Doesn't bother me. So that doesn't really matter much. What's up, Wendy? So the only benefit I was getting was like seeing things from a little bit further away, I guess. And it was only like a 10 to 20%, 10 to 15% probably difference in like Christmas. So it was kind of like not really like life altering, right? But I was talking to my grandma and I was telling her about how annoying it was that I have to like, every time I want to rub my eyes, I have to take my glasses off first, and I have to like, and like I do this thing where I rub my nose a lot. It's just been like a tick or whatever. I've had it for like years. Probably also because I have allergies, and I've had allergies since I was a kid. But the glasses are gone again. Yeah. Yeah, I gave up on them. I'm explaining why. Anyway, but yeah, there's just like so many annoying things, like, and I constantly have to clean them like a couple times a day. It was just like super annoying. Like, I don't know, it wasn't like bad. It was just something I was gonna have to get used to because it's like a whole new life, like routine thing, you know, like you just have to get into, which was fine. And I was getting used to it. Like it wasn't like crazy. It was kind of nice having like a little bit of like a ritual, you know, around them, like taking them off at night, cleaning them, things like that, putting them on in the morning. I don't know. It was fine. Like I didn't really mind, and I liked how I looked in them, so it was cool. But then I was just kept thinking, like, is this like weird, like depth oh my god, what am I saying? Depth perception, got it. I kept thinking depth of field, but it's this weird like depth perception issue, and like just kind of surrealness of like wearing these, and like then also like the routine and everything I have to deal with, worth this like 5 to 10% I see at like 10 feet away, which, and I'm like spend 90% of my day looking 2 feet away, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference, you know. So I don't know, I decided it wasn't worth it. My grandma said, when I told her about this, I was like, I don't know how people can wear glasses, this is so annoying, like why would you like this, I don't know how you can get over this or whatever. And she was like, oh, I love my glasses. And I was like, you love them? And she goes, yeah, because when I put them on I can see things again. And that kind of clicked for me. And I don't know, this seems like so obvious now that I'm saying it out loud, but to me it was like, huh, so maybe like if I actually needed glasses bad enough that actually I felt like it was actually improving my vision, then all this other stuff would just be like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like that would be a non-negotiable for me. Like that's an easy win, right? So you get used to wearing them. I used to hate it. Also, hi, what's up, Orca? Orca, when did you get glasses? When did you start wearing them? It took me, so I wore them 10 days. Yeah, 10 days straight. I wore them one day, took a day off because I thought there was something wrong with them because my eyes were so messed up, and my eyes were killing me all day. I think actually taking them off probably made my eyes worse because I was just trying to get used to them. And then I wore them 10 days straight, put them on first thing in the morning, only took them off to shower and to go back to sleep at night, pretty much. There were a couple times when I could not recognize objects because the depth perception was so weird, and like the fishbowl effect or whatever was so weird, that I had to like pull the glasses down and be like, what is that? What am I looking at? I did that a few times on stream. I'm sure you guys probably saw. So yeah, that was the only time I really took them off. Got them in high school, but didn't actually wear them until my mid-20s. Gotcha. How long was your like adjustment period of like putting them on and like getting used to like seeing normally? I still only started wearing mine about 3 years ago. Fair enough. Did you just get prescribed 3 years ago, or were you prescribed like much younger and just never wore them? A minor astigmatism probably isn't doesn't make you want to wear them. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was at. So like I felt like I needed them because the doctor prescribed them, so I was like, okay, cool, I guess I have glasses now. So I went and got them, and I thought it was going to be like a night and day difference, and I was excited to see like how blurry things had gotten, and I just didn't notice. Because like I know over time, like my grandma actually mentioned this because she just had surgery on her eyes like a year ago, something like that. Because she's aging, right? She's in her 70s now, and she said that when she got a transplant, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I think it was a transplant. I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, like she got like new like whatever they are in her eyes, and she didn't realize how washed out everything had got like over the years. Like the color just kind of drains away, I guess, from your eyes. I don't know. Like your receptors kind of like stop working as well. And so when she got the transplant, all of a sudden she could see color again, and she was like, everything is so vibrant and it's so crazy. Like I forgot that this was I don't think she has glaucoma. I could be wrong though. I don't remember. I'm really bad at keeping up. Kindred, I've been playing with a dialogue plugin, and I fixed one of my biggest pet peeves I had without dialogue set up. Forgiving quest checking quest parts, and I'm mad how easy it was. Wait, what was it? We're gonna open the fishmonger one, but I'm just warning everybody right now, there's probably gonna be some spoilers in here. No, you're good. We just won't move over to the left. What was happening, Wendy? The way I do it is, and I don't know why, this is just how my brain works the best, I think. And it might be like like the blueprint thing, because I've learned blueprints. But I like to go from left to right. These are obviously not set up yet. So I just do the most complicated, or like the most, the last most, I guess, quest or whatever thing you're gonna say. Like, thanks for helping me, you know, whatever, on the far left side. And the far right side is the like default catch-all, like there's no quests, I haven't done anything with this person, I'm just meeting them for the first time here. So we go here, and then you'd be like, okay, now I know the NPC, that's gonna have a dialogue here. Hey, welcome back. And here's do you want to do this quest or whatever? Hey, you're on this quest, are you gonna turn this in yet? Hey, you turned this thing in, congratulations. And then over here is obviously the, you know, hey, thanks for helping with that quest. Yeah, so I think that's how I have been doing it. Is that what you're talking about? It's just like structural, where we had to type every part or quest name in by hand. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So in every project I've done after this, I've 100% fixed that as well. It's a very, very easy fix. It's something where I think we just didn't understand how data assets worked when they were set up originally. So these are data assets, right? These guys. You can set up variables, like let's go to our fishmonger right here. And let's just say we had like, this guy gives a quest, yeah? We'll just say like, here's this quest that he gives us, I guess. And we could make this a DA quest. Actually, hold on. No, our quests are not set up like this. They're in a data table, which is slightly different. So let's say instead this guy gives you, sure, we'll just pretend it's a quest, but we're going to use the items. But we could make this, actually, I don't know what this is even called. I haven't done this in Swords Magic, so I don't know what this is called. Yeah, it'd be right here. Primary data item, I guess. You could make this like pretend these are quests or whatever, right? And then you could go in here and add quests in here. And instead of having to type them in, you would just go through and scroll through all the options in here. Like I could make this, if instead of quests, we could have made this, we could make this a faction. Right, and now here's all these are only going to be giving me factions now. Oh no, they're not. Hold on, let me compile. There we go. So we can only see factions now. We didn't make data assets for factions, but we just have one. I don't know why. I don't know. This project was built, I don't want to be rude, but it was built really stupid. There's a lot of things that we could have easily done to make this way easier to work with. But yeah, we had to type out the quest name. Yeah, so it'd be like, why the heck is this quest not working? Oh, because I typed give juice instead of give juice. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I was so mad making a data table row. Totally fixed it. Yeah, can you can't use this as a data table row though, can you? You can't. Well, you can make it a data table row handle, I guess. Does that work though? Like, what does this let you do? Yep, you can just pick the data table. So you can just go make a quest. I've never done it like this, but yeah, this is such a good way to do this. This is so much better than we were doing it. This is so stupid. There's so many little things like that, Wendy. There's so many little things where like we could have just built this so much better. In every single project I've been working with in the future, whenever I have quests, whenever I have items, whenever I have, especially items are the worst, right? Like we just type in the wrong item name or whatever and everything like explodes. So yeah, every time I have like items or something like that, I set up the data assets. You make a primary data asset. You can go in there and fill it out with all the information you want. The item name, the description, the icon, the static mesh if you want to, and then you can even make children of that and say, hey, this is the base stuff. Now I'm gonna make a child of that and say this is a weapon. So I have all the base stuff, and then the weapon also has, here's the damage, here's the attack pattern, here's her animation or whatever, here's the damage type, whatever you want to put in there. And then you can even make a new one and be like, here's an enchanted weapon, and then just put like, here's the enchantments on it, here's this other thing on there, whatever you want to do, right? You can just like extend them and make like more and more complex versions of them, but you can always start with like a basic item. So then you can make like, here's a weapon version, here's an armor version, right? So you have like, they all inherit from the basic item, but now you have other things underneath them, which is way better than we were doing it, and we're doing it in data assets now, like way better than this. And then you just go in and say, hey, here's all the quests or whatever. They're also data assets. They're just inherited from a different core. And then they have like, here's your quest rewards. And you literally just pick, this is any item. Like we just pick data asset item, and then you can just do the drop down. You can drop down and you can drag stuff in there. It's so stupid how easy it is. I learned that right after like the first project I used after working on this. And I wish I could go back through and like change it, but I would have to go through every single piece of dialogue, every single quest dialogue, or every single quest thing. I have to go through every single like resource item that can drop stuff like everywhere in the whole project. There'd be thousands of places I have to go in and change to the data assets. And it's at this point, it's like, I'm just typing in names, man, because it's not worth it. That's why I'm so ready to just finish this. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm very, very ready to just like move on from this project because I just need to start over, you know? Like I need to start with something fresh. Ended up baking quest items to give, items to take directly into the quest and the parts. So the NPC just calls to advance the part and it just gives / takes whatever it needs via the quest manager. Yep, perfect. That's so much better, right? Yeah, so the only issue we ran into with like that is that we have a lot of those like quests that are like not actually quests. And what we probably should have done is made them actual quests. But like, yeah, probably made them actual quests that we just attach to the NPCs and then just tag in those quests whether or not we want them to show up as actual quests in the quest log. So when you like talk to an NPC and they're like, man, I really wish I had some dizzy juice right now, but they don't give you a quest for it, then it would still give you a quest, or maybe not give you a quest, but there would still be a quest associated. And then when you brought in the dizzy juice to them, we would check to see if you can complete that quest or whatever, and we would just put in that like behind the scenes quest or whatever. So that way the reason for that, like that's nice, is so even if it's like a one-off like inventory or like dialogue related thing, you know, it's not really like a quest, we can still go in if we need to change it to like what the reward is or what like, you know, whatever else we want to do with it, or like what you need or something. We could go change that via the quest instead of having to type it in the dialogue. The only problem is things like that is that we would still have to go change the dialogue to say, man, I'm really, you know, hankering for some dew or something instead of dizzy juice, right? So you still have to change the dialogue, unless you put in like some sort of tag system where you could like put in brackets and say like, you know, quest ID this thing or whatever item, required item, and then you could go in and like change that quest and it would just auto update, which would be nice. I don't know if it's worth it for those sorts of things, but maybe it would be. Pretty happy with T&E code looks considering how fast it was put together. Yeah, same, Morga. I think it's pretty clean. That is from learning what not to do hundreds of times before. 100%. Yep. It's true. Yeah, it only took like, I think the nice thing about Swords of Magic is that it kind of took one project for me to learn all the things not to do, right? But it's just because this is, you know, we're coming up on 7 years. No, yeah, 7-year project. So like, 7 years of smaller projects would have done the same thing. It just would have been a lot more like oops, oops, oops here and there instead of like one big oops, you know. Yeah, I just set up a tag for it if it shows or not. Yep, perfect. Swords of Magic taught me what all the pain points were, but I didn't have the chops to do any of it at the time. Yeah, Wendy, it's cool you're doing that. It's so much fun. I love building systems like that. I didn't do any of that for Swords of Magic because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and I just assumed hiring a programmer would be the fastest and easiest way to do it. And I don't regret doing that, because I think, again, if I would have tried to do it myself, I would have done it all wrong too. So it wouldn't have mattered, but it would have taken me a lot longer. So it worked out. I'm glad we brought Maz on. It just sucks because I think Maz was also way newer than I thought he was, because like we built all this with data tables first. He did a lot of really good networking stuff though. He did a lot of research on the networking stuff before he put it all in. I'm sure if you look back at it now, he'd have a lot of things he'd change, but I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what was good to change because I haven't seen enough of it. I haven't really seen any major networking issues with this project, luckily. Knock on wood. Well, there's a couple things here and there, but nothing crazy. You could do that with a format text, but yeah, that would be overkill. So format text is, yes, you could, but the dialogue plugin, the one we're using specifically, it makes that really difficult. Like, for example, we actually need to do this anyway. Oh man, I don't remember where it's even is now. I think it's in the widget. I think it's in here. It might be in this one. No, this one. Let's say it's this one. Maybe. I guess not. I don't remember. I'm gonna be a little rusty with this one because I don't remember exactly how it works. Maybe it is this one. This is definitely not the right visuals, so I don't think that's the right one. Where's our widget? Maybe it's this one. Yeah. Uh-oh, this has errors. Oh yeah. So this is exactly what we need to do. So we have these get P name, get FM size, get FM price, get AF count, get AF price, get mimic gold. These are dialogue functions that we have to build to put out text, right? So this is broken because I just deleted this. So, and this is exactly what we need to do today anyway, so I'm glad we're here. But we have this function. And then how this works, I think we have these somewhere else. Maybe not. Where is this actually? Run events for node, replies. We have like an array for these? I don't know. But yeah, so we can't use like a format text in here because you have to use these things, and it's just because of this plugin, the way they built this plugin. A normal like dialogue, you could do that probably. It'd be pretty easy. But anyway, you can do it in Blueprints and Learning. Yeah. I've successfully distracted him in 2 minutes of joining. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, let's be honest, Wendy, that's not that huge of an accomplishment. Anyway, but no, you're actually, not only did you distract me, but you also kind of got us back on track. Because I needed to get to this anyway. So this is called Get FM Price. We don't need this though. We're gonna probably just dump this. Or we'll just rename it. We can just rename it. The problem is I feel like we need, this is set up somewhere. I just don't know where. I thought that this, like, we had to plug this in somewhere. But it doesn't look like it, so I could be wrong. If I just do only here. Interesting. Because we have this fishmonger barrel amount. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, we need to do, I guess we'll just rename this and see if it works. I don't think it's going to for some reason, but this is our size. This is showing the size that you currently have, so we can still do this. This is fishmonger size. We'll keep that. This one's going to be, what do we need actually? So you talk to the fishmonger and you're like, hey, here's my catch, and he's like, great, I'll take all these tinkerfish off your hands. He takes them all. I think we need to make them worth 0. So the only way to get rid of them is just to turn them on from him, or just like trash them, because I don't think we need, like, at first I gave them like each some sell value so players can sell them, but the problem is I think we're going to create this weird dynamic where, so like, let's say they're all worth 5 gold. You turn in all of them, and then the fishmonger takes them all and weighs them. He compares the, like, biggest one. I guess we don't have to turn in all of them, but I also want to, like, get rid of them easy, right? Players should be able to just turn in all the ones they did for the tournament, rather than having to figure out which one is the biggest, right? But I think what's going to happen is if they figure out which one is the biggest, or if they turn them all in, and then the fishmonger just takes them and deletes them, and then just stores the biggest size that they got, and then that's how you determine what place you got when you come in later. That means that players are missing out on selling all of those tinkerfish for 5 gold a piece, which is nothing, right? But it could be, 100 gold or something if they caught 20 of them. So I think what's going to happen is players will just, like, optimize the hell out of it, and they'll be like, well, I need to find the biggest one, I'll sell all the rest of them, and then I'll turn the biggest one is, that way I can get the gold and whatever. So we could either give the player gold based on all of the tinker fish they've caught from the fishmonger to, like, save them time from having to sell them all manually, or we just make the fishmonger take the biggest one and you can just keep the rest, which I don't know if I like, because I just feel like we should keep these tournaments, which is why I did the tinkerfish in the first place. I want to keep them, like, kind of self-contained, so when you do the tournament, you don't end up with a whole bunch of random junk in your inventory afterward. I kind of want to get rid of all of it. So another option is we just make the tinkerfish worth 0, so there's no reason to, like, go optimize it and, like, sell it. Let's just do that, and that way, like, getting rid of them at the fishmonger actually makes the most sense. He just takes all of them. Okay, so one other thing might be kind of annoying is if he takes all of them, and let's say you caught 2 fish that are both 40 smidgens, probably very unlikely, but still, let's just say that you caught 2 fish that are 40 smidgens. That means you've now caught the biggest fish you can, essentially, which would also mean we have to figure out what we're going to do for a tie. I guess we'll just give both players. Again, this won't really matter for NPCs. We'll always just give player the upper hand, but for NPC or for other players, if 2 people caught 40 for some reason, somehow magically, then we would give them both first place. That would be fine. Anyway, sorry, my brain is just, like, going through all the things. What's up, Oob? Can my cat has fish? No, sorry, unfortunately. We do need to get the cat in the game, though. People have been asking for cats. I think we promised the Ember Cat in, like, 2018 or something, so we should probably put that in. I think I still have the character for it. I just have to go rig it up to something. Okay, so we'll just make the fish worth 0. So again, my concern is if players caught 2 big fish, they would want to save one for the next like event instead of having to catch it again. But I think we just say no to that. I think we just take all the fish, they weigh them and compare them, and then yeah. So we could even have kept this compare fish thing, I guess. Let's just call this process fishmonger. Make a custom event in here called, should we make this custom event or a, it's fine, we can just call a function if we need one. Let's call this process tourney fish. This will grab our player's inventory, which I believe we can push through here, and then the player, it'll just loop through and find all the tournament fish, all the tinker fish, and find the largest one, add that to the fishmonger's, like, we have a default fish drops here, which we're gonna get rid of. This, yeah, we don't need either of these actually, we'll just delete them both. We are gonna make a variable though, which is going to store the player or NPC's name, so it'll probably be the Steam ID, and then their biggest catch. That's what we'll check, and then we'll just compare those sizes and find the biggest one, right? So I guess we'll make a map for that. Oh, this needs to be saved. So a struct. Right? As soon as this this calendar system is done, you know what we're doing next? We're putting in an unlockable race. We might end up doing 2 of them while we're at it, because I really want to put scarecrows in, and I think you guys want scarecrows too. Where is this stupid folder? Data. Not under data. Blueprints, misc, structs, that's fine. What am I looking for? Blueprint, struct. Fishing tourney results. This is gonna be player ID, string. No, name. String. And this is going to be largest smidgens or biggest. I don't know what to call this. I'm gonna say biggest smidgens. I don't know what that means. This will be an integer. Okay, actually, this should be a float, I think, because I think they have decimals. Okay, good enough. Oh snap! Alicia just raided us. We have not seen a raid from you in quite a while. Welcome in, guys. I love that you put, I'm so glad I said it right. My brain jumped back and forth like 3 times, and I knew that I used to know how to pronounce it, but I love that your raid message has how to pronounce your name, because I bet you have a lot of people saying it wrong all the time. Maybe if I stream more, gosh. Well, I mean, this is my first stream in a week, so you're in good company here. How have you been? How was the stream? What are you doing? Thank you again for the raid. Appreciate it. A week? Yeah. It's been 7 days since I streamed last. Last week I streamed like 5 or 6 days in a row, and then this week I fell off. Or I guess the week before I streamed 7 days or 6 days in a row, and then the last week I fell off. Stream was good. I was attempting to fix code I wrote 2 years ago. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. It's been 10,000 hours. Yeah, fixing old code is not fun. This game project is now 7 years old. Yeah, yeah, sure, somewhere in there. Yeah, 7 years old. And so trying to fix issues in this is like really, really fun too. So, I know how you feel. What the heck was I doing with this logic? Yeah. Yeah, especially since like in that time you probably learned a lot too, and so you're going back looking at things. Like I can't tell you how many times I look back and I find something where I'm like, this doesn't do anything. Like why is this even here? And then sometimes I'll go back and find things and go, this doesn't do anything. Why is this here? And I'll delete it, and then everything breaks, and I'm like, okay, that was doing something. I just didn't understand what it was doing. That's the worst. Because you think you've grown, and then you realize that you were actually smarter back then, and then you're like, dang, I should have known better. Anyway, okay, we have the struct now. We need to go into here. Into where? Into here. Yes. And we need to save this struct. I hate this, but we do have to save this because if a player is in the middle of the fishing tournament and they turn it in and then they log off, we need to load this again when we come back in. So this needs to be stored on our Rama save, which this guy doesn't have a Rama save component. That sucks. We have to make one. Unless we build a singleton to do this, and or like a manager. I don't think we need that though. I think we can store it on him. We'll test it. We'll store it on him and try. Do not delete this code. We have no idea what it does, but if you remove it, the entire project breaks. Yeah, we have a couple of those. I learned more things now. My code is all cluttered with things. Yeah. The worst is looking at commits, trying to find out who wrote the bad code, only to realize it was yourself. Yeah, there was a time when I was looking into, because we had 3 programmers, including me, on this project for a while, and there was a time when like things would get added and no one knew where it came from, and no one would like fess up to it, and they're like, that might have been me, I don't remember, and it would be like really broken or really bad. And there was a time when I was looking into like, how do we like we could look at commits, but like people would like touch things, and like, yeah, I don't know. I guess we could have gone back and looked at those more. But anyway, there was a time when I was looking for like ways to like, whenever someone like would push a change or whatever, we could see who like I don't remember what I was looking for. Whatever. I wanted names on things because I wanted to hold people accountable. And then I found something that I thought was like atrocious, and I realized it was me, and I was like, maybe we don't hold people accountable. Maybe it's okay if people just submit things and they're wrong and we just fix them. Yeah. Is it bad that I put something like this on blocks that should be refactored, but nobody wants to do it? Quick fix. Yeah. Yep. Okay, this is gonna be cached or current tourney results. We'll call it that. Doesn't need to be an array. That. It does need to be struct fishing tourney. I called it fishing tourney results. I thought I just came up with that, read that, and that's kind of funny. And then I was thinking I should have named the struct the same thing. I did. Yeah. Okay, so now processing fish, process tourney fish. How do we get clears inventory though? Let's go back to our, we don't need this one. We need this one though. We'll call this get FM price. Let's call this process tourney. No, we can't call it that. We need to get the like biggest fish, I guess. Man, I don't want to do this either. This isn't the way I want to do this. Let's leave this for now. No, this is fine. This is fine. Let's call this get tourney. What do we call it? Just call it get tourney fish, I guess. So I know this needs to go. I know that we need to put this in somewhere. This FM price, this tourney fish thing, I know this needs to go somewhere. Where is it? This has to be somewhere. It's got to be like in a variable or something, probably, right? Gotta be. I know I've gone through this same situation 3 times too. I use the trick called Alt 4 or Alt F4. May or may not be intentional. It burns my eyes. That people just want to watch your eyes burn. Anyway, how's Swords Magic coming on? It's coming. So it's in a weird place right now because there's a lot more that we have talked about doing, and the world is much bigger than we have finished. So we have these zones here filled out, kind of like these sections here. They don't look filled out because a lot of stuff's unloaded in this map, but then we have the rest of this world that we were intending to fill out. And I say we, but it is now just me. I'm 100% solo on this. Even my wife isn't really helping anymore. She's given up on it, which is ironic because she's always the one telling me that we can't give up on this until we finished it. But yeah. Anyway, this is Bone Reach. It's like 80% done as far as level design goes. It just needs a little bit more cleanup and then needs a lot of content. But this content's probably going to take me like 6 to 8 months to do, I feel like. And that's like full-time work. And the rest of these zones are going to take way longer than that because I have to level design all of them, and then I have to do the content for those too. The desert maybe not as much because it'll be mostly like desert, right? Like that's kind of the whole point of the desert, is it's pretty much just open. But the rest of the stuff is like all stuff that it would be so much work. So I'm at the point now where this is a 7-year project and it is no longer making money. That's why I'm solo now, because I can't afford to hire anyone else to help on it. So it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of at a weird point. So my plan is right now to wrap it up. So I think the goal is I'm finishing up a calendar system and a season system right now that'll be coming out this month. And these are basically allowing us to do seasonal events within an in-game calendar. So the game will have a 32, this seems kind of insane, but I don't know how else to do it. This is the best I've got so far, is a 32-hour year. So you play for 32 hours in-game to get through 1 year of in-game time. And then you'll see all of the holiday events, or all the seasonal events and holidays, and a bunch of other like calendar events and stuff like that through that. I think what I'm gonna do to solve this issue of like 32 hours being a lot of time to have to invest before you can see the whole year of gameplay, which honestly, not crazy. Like, I think most games like kind of like open world, like sandboxy like this, I typically put about 40 hours in as a player. That's usually where I sit. Like 20 to 40 hours somewhere in there is usually where I'm like, okay, I've seen this game, I can move on now. So I feel like 32 hours isn't super crazy. It's kind of like that sweet spot. But I still think we should do some end game like time magic stuff that let players like skip days, or maybe sleeping in single player will like skip to the next morning or something, so we can just speed up the time a little faster. Haven't decided how that's gonna work yet. We just need some way to like fast forward that time a little bit, just so people can get to the events they want to do, even if they like are done with the game or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I think I was gonna wrap up this area, but I'm kind of not sure about it. I think it might end up being like a DLC content, or maybe a free update, depending on how our 1.0 release goes. So I'm going to wrap up the seasonal stuff so players can actually see all the events that we used to do manually each year. So we used to do like a week-long like seasonal event for Witch's Eve and Frostfall, which is Halloween and Christmas. And now I think we're just going to move that into the calendar system, so it just happens when it happens. Oh, also one more thing that's important is players can also jump to other servers, meaning they can like join other players' servers, and their world will probably be at a different season. So you'll still be able to see more of the world if you play multiplayer and jump between those. And our dedicated servers, which we have up running 24 hours a day, you can jump into whenever you want and play on the official servers. And those, because they're on all the time, every 2 days, it's going to be a whole nother year. So like we'll be through like flying through the year. So you can just jump into those and just maybe it'll be a holiday event. Who knows? Why not tie it to the real world calendar? Well, because then you have to wait a whole year to do that. And I will need a server to tie into that because I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with having to have a server up to like tie into that time. So I could probably just use something like what's it called, like PlayFab or something. I'm sure you could probably get like real world time on PlayFab or something, but still I don't like real world time. Plus then it means you have to like wait like an actual in-game week time to like get to like an event or something that's coming up, and then that event lasts like 24 hours, and so if it's like something minor, I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, kind of annoying. When's the Switch release? So actually, Wendy, I know this sounds crazy, but I was actually thinking if we're not going to do the rest of this world, right now the performance is not terrible, and there's things that I've learned that I could do to probably increase performance even more. So I am thinking that it might be possible if we hit 1.0 and it actually does if we sell more than I think we're going to, I truly think we're going to see like $5,000. Like I think it's going to be very, very small. Sounds good, Alicia. If you need to take off to make those nums, go ahead. You don't have to stick around. Thanks again for the raid in case you don't come back. Enjoy your nums. On a side note, oh my goodness, the Aurora. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? It's really simple. It's such a dumb effect. Oh, wrong button. Hold on. There it goes. So it's actually huge. It's way bigger than it looks. I don't know why. I don't remember why we made it so big, but it's just a super simple material effect that just makes it like wobble up and down really, and then it's just like a color gradient. Oh, and it's a scaling color gradient, so it like scales through. So it has like a panner on it, so it's just like red or pink, blue, green, or whatever, and then it just like pans across that, so it just kind of looks like it changes colors. I don't know, it's such a like a cheap, easy effect for that, and it's just like one big mesh. And I think this might even just be simple grass wind on the material. Yep, just using some grass wind, which is really, really simple. Like this is just it's just like dumb. It's dumb easy. And then we have a depth fade too, so as you get too close to it, it goes away. That might actually, we should just turn up the speed here. Yeah, so as you get close to it, it just goes away, so you can't see it. But players will never explore this area probably unless like, unless our 1.0 hit makes like, $500,000 or something, then I'll probably hire a team and we'll finish the world, who knows. But anyway, if we don't finish the whole world, there's a good chance that if we optimize a little more after 1.0, and if it does well enough to justify it, we might actually launch on Switch one day. Like, I don't know, it's impossible. So like Switch 2, I believe has better hardware capabilities than Switch 1. And this is running at like 40 to 50 frames per second on my very outdated machine now. So there's a really good chance that we might actually see a Switch 2 release on this if it does okay. Like I think it's possible. At this point, like I used to think it was completely impossible because we had so much more to do, and the Switch was very meh, right, on hardware. So like it just really wasn't viable at the time. But now that we are cutting half of the world out, and I hate to say this, but like I just don't think I can build the rest of this world in my lifetime. Like unless, like, I don't know, I just can't realistically do it. And I think I have to just break some promises here because I don't know what else to do. So yeah, I think realistically we might actually be able to see a Switch 2 release, which would be cool. And then maybe if like things do really well, we'll just keep adding onto this over time. But I don't know. It's in early access still, so maybe there's a good chance that we'll actually see a lot more interest when it gets out of early access, goes into 1.0, and people stop judging it so harshly, which, you know, makes sense because there's already hundreds of hours of content. So at release, I'm assuming there will be even more because we're adding more stuff in. And I plan on adding a whole bunch of really random events in. That's like the next thing. Because so we have Kickstarter, and we have Patreon, and we have even Steam name an NPC rewards, right? Which we've been doing for a long time. So we have like 100 something names in there that I have to put in, and I can't fit 100 NPCs in this game world without breaking things, right? That's a lot of more NPCs. We already have like 300 something, and they're already pretty bad. So adding another 100 plus in here is going to be pretty bad for performance, and we don't have the space for them either. I'd just be like cramming them in every nook and cranny. So what I'm thinking about doing is cramming them in every nook and cranny, but then setting them on random events. So as you explore, you'll just see random NPCs like off the side of the road, and they'll just be like adventurers, whatever, and they'll just have these random names. Some might have like minor quests associated with them. They might just ask for specific items. They might be shops. They might be like traveling vendors. They might be, who knows? They could be anything. Maybe they'll be enemies. Who knows? But there'll just be like random things all over the place. And we already set up a system for that to like load them in and out. So they'll just be each on their own level, and we'll have like, hopefully not 100 of them, but like groups of these NPCs and stuff. I'm also thinking about putting up like bandit camps and stuff like that too on these things, and then just having like naming the bandits after the NPCs, or after the name an NPC thing too. So we have lots of cool things like this, which I think will be really cool. Just have a race day event where you will fill a whole set of bleachers with NPCs. So I thought about that, or something similar to that. I didn't think about race day, but that would be fun. What part of the world got stripped? Came in late. Most of it. We have Azura. This is like the starting island, and then we have Farmlands and Sleeping Glade, which is kind of two zones packed into one. And then you have Windless Woods and Delver's Pass, and those are all the zones that are done. And there's like a little tiny cemetery area here, which we kind of call a zone, but there's like a handful of quests in there. It's not really the whole zone. And then Bone Reach is the zone that I'm really tempted to finish, but I think I'm going to wait till 1.0, and then we'll finish it as like either DLC or a free update, depending on how well, like if 1.0 launches and it's just like another sales month for us, then it's time to move on, right? I can't justify working on this without getting paid for it anymore. I have to pay my bills. I have to, you know, whatever. I have to progress my career, and I can't do that with this game if it's dead, right? I know that sounds terrible because we made promises, but I think there comes a point where like I could work on this game for the next 10 years, but if our 1.0 launch doesn't really bring in any new attention, then adding all this new content's also not going to like bring it back to life, right? Even if I finish the whole thing, we still only have like a handful of players playing it. Then I can't build this whole game for like a handful of players, right? It has to be more players than that. So I don't know, that might sound like rude or whatever. I'm not trying to be rude about it, and I don't want to be like sound like selfish or greedy or anything either, but like that's just what it is, right? I feel like if I showed this project to like anybody in like any other like startup or like any like business gurus or anybody else in like financial or anything like that, every single one would be like, why are you still working on this? It's been 7 years. It does not make nearly enough money to pay your bills now. You have to do contract work on the side. So why have you not just like given up on this yet and started something else, something new? But 1.0 will definitely bring in new attention. I think a little bit. I just don't think it's going to be crazy. If it's crazy and it blows up, you know, then that's a good problem to have, right? Then I guess I keep working on it. You know, we'll make more. Let's hope 1.0 turns out great. You've definitely been working on it forever. Yeah, and I'm just ready to try something else. You know, I don't know. Like a lot of people joke about Swords Magic 2.0. I don't really want to make that, but I wouldn't mind making another big game eventually. I just want to keep the scope a little more manageable next time, obviously, for good reason. But yeah, I also think a big reason this game hasn't taken off more yet. And don't get me wrong, it's done really well. It's just we had a lot of investment, or a lot of our income was eaten up by our like budget in certain places, that like, so it didn't like end up in my savings account, for example. It ended up going back into the game via hiring other developers or things like that. So mostly that. Anyway, so yeah, the desert will be cut for now. The Blackrook Vale will be cut for now. There's supposed to be an Everwood that's being cut. Alaran City, which sucks. That's like the worst one that we have to cut, because like that, I don't know, that was like a whole plan. But honestly, I'm at the point where like we could literally make Alarin City an entire game of its own with the plans that we had. Like that city was supposed to be enormous. It was supposed to have like the idea was, and this is why this is so insane. Like I talked about all these cool ideas, and obviously they're cool ideas, but like they're very much just ideas. And when you break down how long they would actually take, it's like every zone is like its own game. You know, it's insane. But Alarin City, the idea was it was gonna be when you started a new character, you could choose. I think after you got to Alarin City on one character, then you would open up the option to like new characters could spawn in Alarin City, and it would be essentially a life sim. Like you could run around, you could buy a house, you could get a job. There was supposed to be so much stuff in Alarin City, hundreds of NPCs running around. We're gonna do like a random NPC generation thing, so it was actually a procedural there. Like it was just insane. Like I don't know how anyone honestly expected it to hit 1K reviews at this point. I was surprised it hadn't. Yeah. I think here's what I think, honestly. My honest opinion is I think the game didn't do as well because of the art style. I think if this was a slightly more realistic art style, like if we went more like Portal Knights or something more along the lines of like one of my favorite ones is what's it called? Fae Story? No, Fae. What is it? Is it called Fae Story? No. What is it called? Fae Farm. Yeah, Fae Farm. Like if the character art was like closer to this game, like something a little more like maybe not this game. I don't know. Something a little more realistic though. I think a lot of people see the art, they see the low poly, and they think, oh, this is just a low quality indie game. Like this is going to be garbage. And I honestly think that's the biggest reason we don't get more sales. I like the art. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I think that this looks amazing. This also would have taken us 10 times longer to make. So, I mean, there's that. But hopefully it would have also brought in 10 times more, players because it would have been more interesting looking. But yeah, I think the art style kills a lot of people's interest in the game because it just looks low quality because it's low poly. Anyway, the art style is the only reason we got as much done as we did. Yep, that's true. We luckily I knew what I was doing there to an extent. I mean, to an extent, right? Like we really screwed up on the material slots. That was a huge mistake. I think that eats a ton of performance in our game. But yeah, without the art style like this, I would have had to buy assets, right? Or something, or hire artists or something, and we would have never got this much done. So. Imagine if all assets had these hand-painted textures. Yeah, 100%. It would have taken at least 10 times longer. So I agree. It is what it is. I don't know. What I'm really, honestly, I really wanted to like be done talking about what went wrong with this game. I know that sounds stupid, like because I'm the one that brings it up all the time. But like, I'm sick of having this conversation, and I feel like people are also sick of watching me work on this game. It's so old now. Like it's like boring, It's like people talking about like Super Mario Brothers, like it's like yeah, move on. There's other things to make. I don't know. I feel like that's why like the stream has like died off because people are just like, yeah, this dude's gonna work on this game forever. This is a forever project, and why are we still watching this guy? And I don't blame anyone. That's how I feel about it too. So I want to move on. I want to make new things. I want to try new art styles. I want to try new stuff, right? I just want to do new things, and I know that sounds dumb because I've wanted to do that since the beginning, but like every game dev out there is like, yeah, I want to make something new, like obviously because something new is exciting and fun. But yeah, for me it's more just I'm ready to move on from this game. I don't think the art style matters much, but the art refining, good lighting, and consistent refined quality would be much more important. That is the story of RPGs. I think our art, our lighting, and I think everything looks good within the style. Sorry, my camera's really fast again, so now I have to. UE5 has fixed this, and it is so damn nice. I hate this so much. This is so stupid. I forgot how much I hated this until I was using UE5 and they changed this. Now you can just scroll and it like, you don't have to worry about these gears things. You just scroll and it goes faster and faster. And that's such a better idea than doing this way. This is dumb. Anyway, I don't think the art style looks bad for what it is. I actually think our art style in the low poly style, there's like some older art that looks kind of meh, but like as we moved on, like we advanced the art style and made things look better and better and polished things up. Like this is the new calendar I just made, and it's like it's got a lot of curve and shape to it, right? Like there's a lot more detail and like interest in, I mean, I know there's not a lot of detail because it's low poly, but it's very representative, but a lot of implied detail. But still, like I think the art style looks good for what it is. Like I think this is the best version of low poly you can get, in my opinion. That's like, I think this looks like way more interesting than like most low poly games, and it has good lighting. Obviously, sorry about the giant text everywhere. Like I think the lighting is fine. I think the game looks beautiful. It's just, it's still low poly though. Sorry, that's annoying. Like we even use like glass, and like we use metallics, like we use I don't know, I feel like it looks good. It just doesn't look like doesn't look like a polished AAA game, and I think that's the reason we lose a lot of players. What's up, Gingerdev? I was lurking in your channel the other day, and then I didn't say anything because I didn't know how long I would be, and it turned out I was there like 5 minutes, so I didn't want to get caught up in a conversation, so I didn't start one. But anyway, nothing wrong with the art style in my opinion, but I know people can be weird about it. Yeah, I think there's just a weird stigma around low poly. People see it and they think, oh, this looks like a Minecraft ripoff or whatever, right? Like, how long did we like joke about this just being like a worse version of Minecraft? Like, so many people said that. So I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people just look at this and think like, oh, this looks like crap, you know? And I don't blame them. Like, I don't think it does, but you know, I also made it, so I don't know, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, we need to make this fishmonger guy do his things, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, as I said, like I'm kind of sick of like complaining about it. Like I guess I'm not really complaining about it. I just feel like I'm making excuses about like why I'm still working on it, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just, I don't know. I want to finish it. I want to say, okay, I'm finished with this. Like, and I don't want to just throw in the towel and say this is good enough, it's done, right? Like I want to like wrap up the things that we promised. Like we got to get some of those features in that we've promised we were gonna do, and then once all that stuff's in, then I can just say, okay, no, we're not going to get more content in. We just don't have the manpower to do that anymore, you know. So I don't know why. No, don't save. This is our. Where is this? I know this is in here. Like, where else would it be? Here it is. It's right here. Find variable strings. Run string replacer. Local text. I feel like I know there's a place I have to put this in. Oh, that's C++. Also C++. So I don't know where it is. I don't know, maybe we don't need to do it. Maybe it just finds those functions in C++. I find that hard to believe, but it's possible. Anyway, okay, so this one's gonna get our biggest fish. So let's just do get turning results. This return node is going to say this is fishmonger barrel amount. We need turny fish size. Oh, this needs to be an array. That's fine. I lied. Okay. Actually, trying to think of a cleaner way to do this, but I guess this is the only way we can do it. I guess that would just be 0. I don't know. Or this would be an error, I guess, because that would mean we wouldn't have the player in there, and we would need to like fix that in another place. Anyway, I'm off. Have fun with the project. It looks like good progress since last time I was here. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you haven't seen. It's been there has been a lot of progress. Not sure if you missed my earlier message, but I do love how much attention to detail there is in the game. Thank you. Appreciate that. I guess I must have missed it. I will scroll back up though. I think people would prefer fewer regions but more refined. What I loved when I played it is the attention to detail, not the vastness of the world. Yeah, and the world's still smaller than what most open world games do, especially like MMOs and stuff. It's a lot smaller than that, even if I filled out everything else in here. But you're right, and that's where the game really does shine, in my opinion, but also is a major drawback, because you're probably leaving and you're probably already gone, but I'm still going to talk about this for anyone else. Because yeah, so the problem was we released our first zone, which was Azura, and for a while we didn't have the next zone ready, but we needed to keep doing updates. And so during those updates, we just kept adding more and more stuff to Azura, because we wanted to not only fix like mechanical issues and balance issues and like loop issues, but we also wanted to add more content for players to do while like to test those things, because if they had already done everything, there was no point in like fixing those things. They weren't going to come back and play the same content over and over again, especially when that content was like get new or find new weapon or find new resources, upgrade weapon, loop, right? That was like the whole loop was like upgrade your weapon. That was the whole thing. It's just that was the game, and it was kind of lame. And so we finally fixed that by like adding new items in and adding new like crafting in and stuff like that. So we added a bunch of stuff to Azura, like tons of quests, tons of like secret things, because we didn't have the next zone done yet, but we kept adding more things in with each update. So what happened is we kind of like built up this attention to detail and this like sort of just high density like zone and exploration stuff, which I love. Like it means that you don't have to like run for 10 minutes to find something to do, which I think most like open world games kind of like fail in that regard. So, like there's a lot of stuff to do in a very small space, which is nice. It's very compact, very densely packed, but because of that, every single zone need to feel that same level of density, and that's where things started falling apart, because the very next zone took like 6 months to make, and it was supposed to be done before released in early access. We were supposed to have 3 zones done. We got 1 done before released. We had to scrap the other 2, or not scrap, but push back the other zones till after early access. And then, but each one of those zones had like 20 hours of content at least in it, and they weren't intended to. In the beginning, it was supposed to be like a few hours on each zone to like add up to be like 20, 30 hours of content, 40 hours of content, maybe for the whole game, plus grind, which would have been maybe like 100 hours at the end. And now it's turned into like, we have like 100 plus hours of content just in like the 4 zones we've released now. And we still haven't even finished the third of the zone that we were supposed to finish when early access came out. I skipped it and went on to Delver's Pass because I needed a change of scenery and had to do something new. And it was a smaller zone, so I could justify doing it. But it still took me like probably 6 months to do Delver's Pass, like to get it like finished up where it is. And then I took a long break between finishing it too, because I was overwhelmed with it. So I don't know, there's a lot in the game, and it is really worth it. But the attention to detail is mostly Kindred seeing a single blank crevice and saying, let's add another thing here. Yep. Yeah, and like, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I think it's good to have a lot of, like I really do like have the density of the world. The problem, I think, is just that we promised a bunch of zones when those zones were meant to be mostly empty with a few quests here and there, you know, and like a couple new resources and stuff. And then we kept adding so much stuff that those zones turned into entire games, right? So adding Bone Reach in is more work than me building an entirely like a fresh game. especially because and this is probably the biggest problem, right? Like, yes, that's a major issue. And every time we add a new zone in, we also add new mechanics, which then we want to expand on those mechanics for the next zone, which makes that next zone even harder to build. So every single new zone is like exponentially harder than the previous zone to build. It just has way more stuff in it. We have to expand the level cap, add new spells in, add new trinkets in, add new weapons in, add new clothing, add new like hats and etc., add new furniture. We have to like add new crafting recipes for every single skill in the game. We have to sometimes add new skills to the game and then add new recipes for those. Like add new quests in. Like there's just so much stuff we have to add in for every single zone now because we've added so much to the game that it takes forever. But yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say something else. There was another thing that was a big problem. I don't remember. Whatever. There's more issues. Now a new zone needs calendar events and random events. Yep, exactly. And like I think the calendar system is great because it incorporates the seasonal events that we put in that are no longer available, right? So there's a bunch of items, a bunch of mounts. Yeah, a bunch of mounts and items and like companions and stuff that you can't get anymore because the seasonal events aren't going on anymore. We just can't justify taking a week out of our like dev time of whatever games we're working on, or even this game, to do the seasonal events anymore, because I have to go through and set them all up manually. And even though now they're all set up automatically, so I can literally just like turn a variable on or whatever, I still have to push a build with that. So if I'm in the middle of working on something else, I have to either like unhook all that stuff so it doesn't happen, which has happened several times now for skill trees. Like skill trees have been in and out of the game like 100 times. Right now they're out, but they've been in and out like a whole bunch, because every time we have to do an update or fix a major bug or do a seasonal event or whatever, I have to turn them back off again, which takes me like 10 minutes of like going through and configuring everything. And if I miss something, I have to go fix that, which is why like some people saw some skill tree stuff they shouldn't have during Frostfall because I missed something. It's like that whole system is just annoying. So fixing this so that we don't have to worry about that anymore is going to be nice. But at the same time, it adds new features again and more content, which is annoying. So yeah, I don't know. It's like a curse, right? Like I can't really get away from it. We have to like add new content to the game, but yeah, adding new content, I don't know. Like we could release Bone Reach and not add any new mechanics in, right? Like we could do our best to just make sure we utilize all the same stuff we've had in all the other previous zones. But you and I both know that's not going to happen. Like we all know that's not going to happen. It's just, I don't know. It's like a willpower thing, I guess. Anyway, we need to find the player's ID, and I don't know how to do this. I like to think that we have access to the player interacting here. We have in dialogue, player reply timer. I'm an idiot. Of course we have access to them. This is a single player thing, so this is just gonna be get player state, I think. Get player ID. This kind of sucks. It means I have to loop through all these. Actually, let's just do this once. Let's just cache this. This is really expensive, getting this player ID, because I have to get it from Steam, so it takes a second to do. So doing it on a loop is a bad idea, especially if there's like 20 people doing the fish tournament, which there might be during the season event, because it's going to be, we might have a bunch of people jumping in to do these things that they show up on the dedicated server. Oops. Where is get player state? Is this from the player controller maybe? This is the one drawback of using blueprint interfaces. They're really handy, except you don't know what holds them sometimes. And especially since there's only one player state, I don't even know where that lives. We'll just print here, I guess, and see if this works. If this, I mean, you know, I'm gonna print the character name here, not because that's what we want here, but because that'll actually give me value, and the Steam name might not because I'm not connecting to Steam right now. But let's cache this. We just want to cache this guy. Cache Steam name, and then we grab this. Okay, and then if this is true, then we want to spit out our smidgens here as the biggest smidgens. We might want to truncate them. I don't know. Well, that's fine. Okay, and if it's not, then we'll just keep looping to the next one until we find one, or we'll get an error. So we are looking for our cached Steam. Oh, I said Steam name. Oh, that is Steam name. That's okay, I guess we'll just store it as a Steam name too. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's go back to our fishmonger. This is going to be process fish tourney. This is how we're going to set up this information that we're getting here. So we probably should have done this in a function. Okay, so what we want to do is we need to... This is going to be running locally, I suppose. Let's add Rama to this. And we want to save this guy. It's the only thing we want on our Rama save. Only actor, not component. We need to make sure we set up his unique ID in the world. Let's do that right now before we forget. I did, Wendy. Remember how we used to have this problem all the time? Where we would forget to do this and then it would end up at like 000 whatever? I finally went into a couple of the things that we were having issues with and set up a function which you would think would have like existed already in the Rama like plugin, because like I'm sure other people run into the same issue. Where did I put that on? Processors, I think. I think it's in here. Nope, I don't remember where I put it. I put it on one of the things I should put on here. This is probably the most important one to put it on. I made a like a macro thing that like goes through and checks to see if the ID is 0000 whatever it is, and if it is, then it deletes it, so it just doesn't show up at all. And if it isn't, then it does whatever it needs to do. So that way we like never have those duplicates sitting at spawn anymore, which is very annoying, or was very annoying, and was causing a lot of performance issues. Okay, okay, he has a ROM ID now, and it's generated. We're gonna have to... We're not using rep notify on this. Should this even be replicated? I guess this needs to be replicated, right? But we need to process this locally, and then we update the replicated version. Because we can't call a server function through the dialog. The dialog will have to call locally. That should be fine then. Yeah, this will be fine. Okay. So what we'll do is get player controller, I think. Get inventory. Do we have a thing for this already? I think I remember. I think it's controller. Actually, it's component. Definitely get player component, and then we do get inventory from here. Player inventory. We might need an RPC call on our player component or our player character or something from this with this too, which sucks. So for each loop, because this will not have authority. I think we're gonna do a tag. And then we're gonna cache this into our current. We're gonna make a, yeah, so we should make this a function. That's fine, let's make a function. We're gonna call this get largest attorney fish, I guess. Turn will output smidgens as a float. And this is where I would do like, I guess we'll probably have to call a function on the player to do this. I'm pretty sure we can try setting it up here like an RPC, but I don't think this is gonna work because this does not have authority, so I really don't think this will work. But we'll try it. May as well try it, I guess. Okay. Anyway, okay, now, wait, let me paste this in here. This doesn't need to be in here, okay. I don't think we'll even let this dialogue happen if we don't have any of these things, which means this will never hit a completed node. We'll return it before then. Well, actually, we might. Hold on. We need to cache it first. Okay. Sorry. Get item data. Can we do... Nope. We can do toString. Should we just look for... This is the item ID, which means if we would have like... What do they call it? Yeah, so it'd be fish underscore mecha, so we can look for that, I guess. As long as we don't make any other fish named that. We'll look for this substring. And then we need a local variable. And this will be let's just store this as a float. If we make an array of floats, we can sort this really easy, and we can just loop through these floats, or just get the array, I guess, and do a for each or for loop, and delete all of the items. I can't believe you would get rid of the beautiful machine graveyard 000. Sad. Yeah. We need to add the smidgen size, so we grab smidgens. So glad we built this. Built this. What is this? What does this mean? That smidgen's gotta go. We could also do an and here, I guess, just in case. I don't know why that would matter, though. This would definitely have smidgens. At least it better. Okay, we add those. Now we need to sort them. So we're gonna grab our current fish and we'll do, I'm pretty sure we can just do sort array. Sort float array. Honestly, I think this one even works. Ascending would mean the highest is the last index. We'll just do, if it's descending order, the highest is the first one, right? Yes. Am I correct? Why is there a variable name on this? What does this mean? If a struct or object-based array, the name of the variable to sort by. Got it. We also have this victory sort float array. And we have this sort float array. I don't know why I'd want to copy that. Neither of these should matter. I wonder which one of these works. I assume they all work. We'll just do this one for now. Okay, that should give us all of our smidgens. Now, what we need to do is grab our saved tourney results. And we need to find the player that's in here or add them. Actually, we would just add them. Once you did this one time, like this should be empty. Like this should just start empty because we're unloading this character and it will be saved though. We might need to. We might need to wipe this at dawn just in case. Actually, will this work? What happens if we... Does this guy get destroyed when he gets unloaded? How does this work? If he gets destroyed, then it won't matter because this, well, actually it will matter because Rama will kick in and unload this. We could save the day. Like when he spawned or when we load, we could just grab the day and save that as well. We just need to be able to like clear this out after the tournament is finished. I wonder if we could just check to see if the holiday... No. He won't even like exist outside of that day. So yeah, okay, so what we'll do is when we save this, when we save the tourney results right here, like when we apply them, whatever, we could also just like set the date then too. And then if we ever try to, whenever we do like begin play or on a load or whatever, if the date is different than the last save date, that would mean that it was processed, like they did their event this day, we saved that as the date, and then we have another event in the next month, whatever. We can even save the season if we wanted to. That would just be an enum. I think an int is probably cheaper though. I think we'll just save the integer. That'll work, right? Drop this on Rama save. Save both those things. Okay. So this we don't want to do on authority yet. Once we find this locally, because we need the local. We need to get our player character. That in here we did this? No. Here? There's no chance we didn't. Yeah, we did that wrong for sure. We definitely need to do this. This will happen locally. We could promote this here, and then I guess we don't need to promote it though. Yes, we do. Will the fishing tourney happen multiple times per calendar year? Yes, it'll happen once a month. You'll have a chance to do a fishing tourney every 4. Well, you can literally have it the last day of like spring or summer, and then the first day of fall or summer or fall. You couldn't have the last day of fall or winter, so you'd have to wait at least a week between those, which would be 24 minutes times 5. So whatever that number is. But yeah, so it's 24 minutes a day. So the most you'd have to wait would be a whole month, which would be let's do 80 days, which is 32 hours. So it'd be 8 hours. So the longest you'll have between events is 8 hours of gameplay. So you can do in like every other gaming session, depending on how long your sessions are. Like, I know a lot of people like play for like 6 or so hours at a time with this game. So yeah, they'll be common enough that, but like by the time you are like overdoing one, you know, and or like you're like, by the time you're no longer bored of the idea of the fishing event, you'll probably have another one popping up. At the most, it could be like, you know, half an hour, or the earliest it could be half an hour. Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy. Mess this up. Yeah, all right, because we're not doing. Yeah, we need to do this actually. I hate that I have to do that, but. Okay, do that at the begin place so we have that reference, and then we'll do that on our Rama save load. I'm really jumping around right now, but that's okay. Actor fully loaded. Now we'll get our last active day. This is not equal to... Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Then we want to clear our turn results. Should we? Oh, that's not what I need to do. We just need to do this, and this should be has authority. So I'm not too concerned. This can be done by anybody, really. Okay. We just need to make sure we set this with authority, and that probably is going to have to happen through an RPC. All right, we have the ID. We need to loop through these, sorry. And break. And if it's the same as the local player, their Steam ID. Oh no, this won't. Never mind. No, we don't need to loop through this because we're not ever going to update their size. Okay, so here's another thing to think about. Well, actually, first of all, I think we're just going to take the player's bait as well when you do this. So we'll probably do this here. Yeah, probably. Once you cache all your fish, we're gonna take all the fish away and all the bait away. So you can't catch more fish at this point anyway, and you won't be able to get more bait from the dialogue because that dialogue's actually really fast. So technically speaking, you could get new fish from another player. And you could get new bait from another player. So you could still catch more fish. But you shouldn't be able to turn them back in again. Once you turn them in, you turn them in. So that shouldn't matter. None of this should matter. In fact, Jana even said that she thinks you should be able to keep your bait. God, why am I so tired? I'm like yawning like crazy. Jana thinks you should be able to keep your bait so you can save it up to have extra bait for your next time, which I think I disagree with. I feel like the whole point of a fishing tournament is that everyone is at equal ground, right? Yes, you might have different or better rods and better, like, yeah, you might have a better rod and it might be upgraded more, and that's fine, so you can catch things faster, and you might have luck potions or whatever, right? That's good. But everyone has the same amount of bait, so that's like the even playing field. And I feel like if you can just save up your bait and use like 1,000 or whatever, you catch as many fish as you want, that's, I don't know, it's kind of lame. And then you know that people will just hoard it, and like every time, even if they're not going to do it, the fishing tourney, they'll just go pick up the bait to have it or whatever, so I don't know. I'd rather just the bait be worth nothing and it just gets removed when you turn in your fish. So you always have only 50 catches for 50 chances. And if you miss a catch, you still lose your bait. Like, as long as they bite, you still lose your bait, so that way, yeah. I think I like that. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna need food here soon, I think. I need energy. Okay, so we just need to add to this, because this is gonna be empty. Cool, there's smidgens. And that's here. Perfect. And then we just need to save this. And this is the problem. So what we need to do is I need to make, and then a saved one, I guess, because I can't add it here. Or we turn this into a function as well, and then we can add it to a local variable, and then I can run an RPC that actually sets it to the correct variable. Okay, let's do that. So let's not do add here. Well, that's fine, actually. We'll do add here, but then we're gonna... Sure. Don't even need to do this here. We'll just call an RPC out here, depending on... Yeah, this is fine. Okay, we're gonna get this working, and then I'm gonna take off and get food, because I'm getting hungry. I'm clearly tired. I know it's only been 2 hours, so it's been a shorter stream. I don't care. Sorry. This is going to be... Sure, we'll call this process fish. I am really tempted to like output this array though. I think we'll output it. This is not gonna work. We don't need this. This is a waste. We don't need this. Control Z. You don't need to make this an array because we need to add this to the array in the RPC, because the RPC will be the one that actually well, this is replicated, so I guess I would technically have the whole thing, but I just foresee this having an issue. So instead, we just need this one result, and then we'll just check switch here. If we have authority, we can just set it, right? The server just sets this. So this is where we just say, hey, add this. That's fine. Add, great, perfect, right? That's good. So if this is a server doing this, this just works. We're done. If not, though, we need to call an RPC to set this. I know we're gonna do an RPC. So let's just go over to our we're gonna set up on the player controller because I don't want to do it on the player component. Player component has a million things on it, and I don't need to add more to it. So we're just gonna go to RPC. Update fishing turning results. We should call this client, actually. And then server update. This one, put it on server. We need an input. Cool. New participant. There are better ways to do that, but whatever. Oh, and we also need the character, the NPC. So this is going to be Fishmonger. So we need to call this from him from there. And we're just going to do set get turner results, add. That'll be here. This goes here. That's literally all we need to do. Oh, hold on, this is gonna break. Called it. File again. I know UE4's quirks. Okay, save that. Cool. So yeah, this will now properly run the RPC. This should work. We just need to call it. Why are we not compiling? In here, so we can add that there as the server, or we could also just call this on the server, and it'd be just as easy. Put this on the player controller because it was easy to get to. So we're gonna go client update fish update. Uh-oh. I'm an idiot. I didn't think about having to do this, but it's fine. It's gotta have to happen anyway. Oh my god, please stop. Thank you. This is self, and then this is the new participant. Cool. Alright, so we now need a process Tourneyfish custom event, or a dialogue event that we can call from the Fishmonger dialogue. Just go dialogue event, find one we like, apply gameplay effect, that's fine. Duplicate this one. That's not what it's. What's this? What are we doing here? Process Tourneyfish. I'm an idiot. Not that. I was like, well, we might be ending a little earlier than I expected because I thought it was gonna crash there. Okay, we don't need any of these things. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need any inputs for this at all. We just need to, let's see, NPC actor cast to Fishmonger. Process Tourneyfish. That's literally all we need to do. Could have input the player here, I guess, but this is all running locally anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay, so now we have a way to see the highest smidgens you've caught so far. So we'll process this, and then the next dialogue thing will say, great, we'll process your order, or whatever. Come back and see us, or whatever. I guess, I don't know, that could work. And then maybe you come back and, oh man, I guess. Do we even need to know do we even need to like tell the player what their like highest smidgens are? Did we put that in the dialogue somewhere? Fishing tourney. Here's my biggest fish. So here. I don't know, I kind of want players to know what their biggest one was. So maybe we say like, here's my haul instead of biggest fat catch, fish, whatever. Yep, here's my haul, and then they can say this will do the processing. Process Tourneyfish. And then well, we should probably also have a condition to make sure they have. Oh. This needs to be an or condition. And then we need to add in item has, copy that, paste, paste. Now I have to make sure that if I change one of these, it doesn't change all three of them, because sometimes this dumb dialogue does this. Item has what is it called? Fish neck. Sorry, guys. I guess someone's here, and the dogs don't like that. Here we go. Okay, this is iron. This is gold. Okay, as long as I have any of these, we don't need to check equipment. We know it's not going to be equipped. It doesn't need to be collections. We don't want to check collections. Okay, good. Okay, as long as they have one of those items, then we can process their fish. Great haul. So maybe right here we should actually make a new event that removes the fish. What could one more little addition to the player component hurt? Yeah. Good question. Is my dialogue really behind with? Or sorry, not my dialogue. Is the chat really behind? Oh, Doge. That's what you're saying. Got it. I don't think so. Ad break starting soon. We're gonna snooze that one because we're gonna wrap up soon in a minute anyway. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, he checks your haul. You turn in your haul. He checks to make sure you can actually turn it in. Great. He processes the fish if you can turn it in, and then what'll happen is, I want them to say your biggest catch is blank. Are you sure you're ready to turn this in? Once you've turned it in, you can't catch any more fish, or you can't turn any more fish in or something. Should we do that? I like the idea that it's kind of a gamble, right? So you decide, no, I'm going to keep fishing. I want to try to catch more. So you decide when you're ready, when you think you have the biggest fish you can catch within the right time, within the reasonable time, before 8 p.m. You can only have till 8 p.m. to catch. So you have 4 hours to come back and claim your prize, basically. So you have to decide when you're ready to. Sorry, I think I was super low latency for a minute. Yeah, I think you were too, or high latency. Yeah, I think you were too, because like you were responding to things like a good minute after I was talking with them. So I was wondering if it was me or if it was you. The other day I was talking to, I think it was Worka on stream, and I had paused the stream while I went to the bathroom or something. I don't know. I came back and I hit play, and I didn't realize that it didn't go right back to live. It stayed like 5 minutes behind. So I was answering a bunch of questions and stuff, and I was like, why is he not like talking to me or answering my questions or responding to my messages or whatever? What's going on? And then I realized I wasn't live, and I jumped live, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I mean, I'm talking to you from 5 minutes in the past. So I thought maybe you were doing that too for a second, but anyway, okay. So yeah, the question is, should we measure the haul, tell them what their biggest fish is, and then let them decide one more time if they want to commit to this, or if they want to go back and catch more? Or should we just have them say this here, like, yep, here's my haul, and then you can say, great, are you sure you're ready to turn this in? Once you do, you won't be able to catch any or turn any more fish in for the day. Like, you'll be done for the day. And then you have to choose that. And then that's when we actually calculate the fish and add it to the thing. Because I can't do it twice, right? If we can't, well, we could technically do it twice, I guess. It would just update the current thing. But I don't want to do that. No, yeah, no. It'd be a pain because we couldn't just update the current one. Okay, so let's say the first time you caught 38 smidgen fish, you're like, this thing is huge, great, wonderful. And then you go back in the next haul, the biggest one you caught is 15. It's gonna just find that 15 is the biggest one and overwrite your 38, which sucks. So we don't want to do that. if we wanted to do that, we could, but then we'd have to add in your current biggest haul from that array, which means it'd just be a whole nother like function we have to build. Not a huge deal, but I don't think it's worth it. This is just a minor event. I don't think it's that big of a deal. A minor event that already gives you like there's two really huge, pretty awesome items you get from this that are like, yeah, it's already really cool. It's cool enough, I think. Okay. Oh boy, Great Hall. Looks like you're. Wait, hold on. Let's have them say. To lock in your fish. Once you do, you won't be able to. And then we'll give players one more chance. Don't spoil this for you for yourself, guys. Don't look at the answers there. Yeah, I'm done, or wait, I'll catch some more. Okay, and that doesn't do anything. We'll take this event off. Delete that. And then if we say, yeah, I'm done, that's when we add the event back on. We should have copied and pasted that. Process turning fish. Okay. Snoozing one more time, and then we're gonna wrap up. Looks like your biggest catch was %. What do we call this? Turning fish. With a capital T. Oh wait, actually probably not a capital T. That's probably just, yeah, lowercase turning fish. %, turning fish. Okay, and then they say come back after 8 p.m. Now, this one, when we do this, we need to do more things. We need to remove all of their fish from their inventory. Can we, how do we do this though? Remove item inventory. We need 3 of these. Copy, paste. We're gonna do $9.99, $2.55. That's fine. That's the most we can do. Quantity none. And newer equipped. Show dropped pop up. Yes, I think so. Yeah, we want that. We also need to remove the. So we'll copy this. Paste. Paste. Ion fish, you know, gold, and then one more for the bait. Material, I think it's actually ammo underscore bait underscore magnet. Let's make sure. Yeah, ammo bait magnet. Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, you know how much time we'd be saving if we could just... Oh, I didn't mean to close that, damn it. I don't even know what I closed now. Save that. Yeah. Okay, remove all their bait, all of their fish. Okay, that should work. What is happening? What? Stop. My Gemini AI on my phone thought that I was asking for lyrics to a song. I said, I said all their beats, all of their fish, and Gemini said, that sounds like a surrealist rhythmic hook. Would you like me to help you turn those lyrics into a full song or a specific beat? Oh my god, that's great. Okay, all right. I need to test this, but it's gonna be annoying to test because I need to do it in multiplayer. And I don't want to do it on stream because it's gonna take me a long time to load it in. So, guys, thank you for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go get some lunch and then I'm gonna come back and knock this out. It should be finished. And then this should be going in the next update, which will be soon, later this month. I can't tell you when. It's a secret. I'll be posting on the Discords. Make sure you join the Discord if you are not already there. And then make sure you wishlist the game because you will also be notified when it goes on sale later this month as well. Hint, hint. It will be on. I don't know why it's a hint. The game's going on sale later this month when this update comes out. So wishlist it and you'll know when it comes out, and then you can pick it up on sale if you haven't already. Anyway, cool. You guys are the best. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you again. Hopefully today's Thursday. I might stream tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. I'm planning on a tomorrow night stream, but we'll see what happens. So, awesome. I had to disable Gemini Google Assistant on my phone because sometimes when I'm driving using maps, I yell like, "Hey, Google." I almost said it out loud. "Hey, this is wrong," and the assistant would pop up. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, that's great. All right, cool. All right, you guys are awesome. Again, have a great rest of your day and weekend if I don't see you before then. Bye, guys. Enjoy the beautiful Sims music as we end the stream. Okay, bye.